Hello everyone, and welcome to Luftrausers. I think this is just one of those games which you can sit down and play at any time and enjoy totally, without thinking, there's a thing coming up that I've got to do, or there's this bit that I'm never quite good at, but I'll give it my best go. Luftrausers is just one of those games I will sit down, put on, and enjoy, but for some reason I haven't played it in a really long time, and unlike games like Skyrogue, which feel like death is inevitable, but when you succumb to it, it takes everything away from you and kind of kneecaps your progress and makes you feel a bit that's why you put it down. Luftrausers has this feel of put down, pick up, put down, pick up. You can just play it at any time. There's no fatigue. This is wonderful destruction. It's catharsis. And I did put it down for a very long time, actually. I'm not quite sure why. It's by the same people who make Hotline Miami. Revolver? It's Revolver, yeah. Future me, edit in the correct name or something, I don't know. Point is, we were going to do Spider-Man. I'm prepared to do Spider-Man. But, I use a terribly old PlayStation emulator because it was the only one that I could get running. Yep, screw new technology working. I don't know. And as a result, it just decided today, when I get down some free time to record, I haven't actually got it to work. So, yeah. You get Luftrausers. I think everyone and their cat knows this game by now. I mean, I'd be very surprised if you didn't know what Luftrausers was, because it's an amazingly fun game. Watch. I have this little plane. It's basically like... Ooh, that's loud. It's... Chris Nolan's attacking me. It is basically all of those Japanese, and I suppose American, bullet hell top-down and side-scrolling games that you destroy every single enemy, you know, one lone fighter against the world. Except, you'll notice, I'm going in any direction. The best way to explode, yeah. The best way to describe this mission is Drill Killer. I like that. The best way to describe this game is an open world side-scrolling shooter, or just an open world classic shooter. And there are two things I love about this. One, you saw at the bottom of the screen, the customizable names. That every time you make a ship, because these ships are customizable, you get a little sort of auto-generate procedure. God, I have no armor. Let's fix that. Yeah, that's actually a good time to show this then. I can just... oh, no I can't. Here we go. Buttons. There we go. What do we want? We want customize. We want more body. There we go. Get some armor. That'll do. Yeah, see, the name's changed. This is Billy 40. I really like that. It's just like every time you get a new ship, you get a new name. And I like using the laser, because it just means you just sweep. I feel like Godzilla, or something from Evangelion. Just wham! Take that, boat. Ha ha! In fact, the other thing is the art style is absolutely gorgeous. I grew up on a lot of old DOS games, and I think a lot of Mega Drive games, which were ROMmed on the PC. I have no idea how I managed to get those, but I did. And oops, excuse me. And as a subsequent result, I've developed a really big soft spot for these kind of oldie style graphics. And this game has such a limited color palette, but it makes it work so well. I mean, the fine detail is something that's probably... Oop, I blewed up. It's something you don't ordinarily see in those older style games, but it just speaks to me on this classic visual level. Like the little putt coming out the back, or the really cool parallaxing and depth of field with the clouds. For just making them grey as to white, you create such a great depth. You can quite easily pick out enemies, as well as the boats in the background. See, there's not much going on, and that's good, because the main thing you want to focus on is the bullet hell that you're currently surrounded by, the quality of craft, which is indicated by the smoke and the, if you can see it there, the fading ring. So everything is designed minimally as possible so you can have the best time looking at what you're doing, which is really important right now, because I think a lot of big AAA games have to use things like really stylized quick time things to show off that you're actually meant to be doing something on screen. Let's go to the hangar and let's change up our... Oh, no, that's the wrong button. I will forever get this wrong though. This is the thing that annoys me. There we go. Let's go for random. I quite like a random craft. They give us some really good dingle dangles. Launch? Yeah, we'll launch. What have we got? The Interceptor? Or is that called the Inspector? I don't know. I think it should be called the Inspector. The Inspector calls, bitches. Wop wop. Hey. So, your basic job is to, you know, kill dudes, survive as long as possible. One thing I do like is, in contrast to Skyrogue, which I will say, Skyrogue, absolutely adore, but I like these two games for different reasons. Skyrogue has a sort of a classic GameCube-y feel. It's bright, it's colourful, it's powerful. It's basically the Rogue Squadron game that I never ever got, that I'm still waiting for. Ooh, I've got a max combo. This is... One is a long-haul Netflix series, the other is a popcorn thriller that you can sit down and watch at any time, if that makes sense. Because this, you'll see, the instant I die, I just pick myself right back up. Death is an inconvenience, and it doesn't treat... because you're not meant to go into this with the feeling of, oh shit, I had the nuke body. I blew something up. Killer classified. Ooh. That's going to be scary. I love that little boat. I love the start to this. It's just, ooh. Is this standard? This is standard. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this. I'm dropping bombs as well. Nice. Yeah, I just feel that this game has such a quick, fast-paced... I think, yeah, because of course you break up the action in Skyrogue by stopping off at your base. It's you know, you have quiet moments, then you have those moments where you're tracking back to your base after a mission done. This doesn't have it. This is the mission. There is only one, and it is survive and blow up as much stuff as possible. And I really like that. There's so much energy installed in it, and you don't want to break up that energy by having a big "you suck" game over screen. Now we nobble your kneecaps and take away everything you ever owned. Ooh. I do get blown up though. I wonder what that classified is. We'll find out what that is later. Ooh. That just say, what is that called? It's just called breakfast. Oh. Oh. Okay, so I just have to... I got homing missiles, so that's cool. I just have to wait for them to sort of recharge. I'll just spin around. I've got the water engine as well, so I can do... Splish. This. Ha! To the opening from Stingray. Aquamarina, bitches! Okay, that's Hubers. That's Hubers choking. Okay. Pew 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 pew. Come on, give me a... Oh, better stop shooting. Yeah, you heal by not shooting. Very first-person shooter, but it's actually a really good mechanic, because in the cluster and then in the insanity, you don't really have time to think about picking up a health pack. No, just stop shooting and go suck your thumb. Heal up. Be a first-person shooter. It's normally a mechanic I'm not particularly keen on auto-healing. I much rather have health drops, but I'm probably one of those generations that hate myself, so I like having health kits. Also probably because I played way too much Metal Gear Solid 3. Ah, that was a good game. We as a species are never gonna, like, get as good. Ooh, air patrol. Shit, this thing's fast. Ooh. I have no idea what this is, but this is freaking deadly. Shotgun. Am I flying backwards? Because I think I am being propelled backwards by a slide. This has got force. Nah, it's not. It's not that one. You can't help but make like little shooty shoot noises because you are just boom 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 boom. Ooh. Yeah. So the action is never stopped. You're never breaking up the flow of the game. Woofed. Woof. Oh no, this thing does propel you. There's got some kick to it. And I like that. I like the fact that you've got this game that you just keep going. What was I saying? I was saying something about Metal Gear Solid 3. It's the best game ever, but we're not talking about this game right now. Actually, I'm trying to think now, what is my top 10 list of best games of all time? See, I'm never very good at putting anything in a kind of numerical order, because that feels like I have to love one of my children more than the other, if I would ever be crazy enough to have children. I think definitely Metal Gear Solid 3 is on that list. Twin Snakes? I can't have two Metal Gear... See, that feels unfair, having two Metal Gear games on the one list. Ooh, 15 enemies while firing non-stop. Nice. Like, if I was to make a game vault, and I said, look, if the world ends and I have some sort of magic console that can play all of these games, and I get 10 games to take with me into this magic vault, what would my 10 games be? That is tricky. Ooh! Select from the options menu. Destiny. Oh, it's a new colour palette. Yeah, you get the grotesque things. The colour palettes. We'll show that later. Hang on, coffee. Okay, so Metal Gear... Ooh, Trickster, I like that. Yum. It's got a water engine. It's got the water engine, Kavner. I can go splish. Splish. Okay, so top 10 games of all time. Metal Gear Solid 3, definitely. I'm not putting these in any particular order. Maybe I will. Maybe I will actually sit down and try and put these in order. Metal Gear Solid 3 is a definite. Pokemon Leaf Green. Don't sue me, it's awesome. Professor Layton 3. The time travel one. That was awesome. That was bloody beautiful as the game goes. And I've never been more sad for a franchise to actually reach its conclusion than I have there. I mean, yeah, they started to make prequels because basically Nintendo was printing money at that point for the games. But that was an awesome series. I don't even need to justify myself with Pokemon Leaf Green. It was everything they did in Pokemon... no, wait. Pokemon Gold. Shit, which has more... That's a close one. I'd say Leaf Green. Ooh, heavy. Oh, this is a big boy. He's beefy. Leaf Green. Leaf Green is absolutely gorgeous as the game goes, and I think, yeah. So that's what, 3? Yeah, we've got 2 DS games, 2 Nintendo games. Konami. What else? Anyone who's seen my Steam account will know Space Engineer's pretty high up on there, so we'll put it on there. The 2016 Doom goes on that list for simply being an amazingly good first-person shooter that I could honestly play for several hours if the game wasn't being a jerk right now. And yeah, that's also why we're not playing it right now. The audio dumb borked. It's something to do with the way I've set stuff up in my recording studio, and I have to fix that. But hey, yeah, Doom, Professor Layton 3, Pokemon Leaf Green, and Metal Gear Solid 3. That's 4. Okay, 5th game. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Sands of Time. Oh, you kids these days and your Assassin's Creed. Seriously. I mean, I love Odyssey because it's gay as all hell, but I mean, Assassin's Creed. Oh. What was I saying? No, not Assassin's Creed. Prince of Persia. When I started, that was the game. That was the game that had parkour, that had the jumping puzzles. It was a reboot of the classic Prince of Persia series, and I have never fallen in love with the game faster for the GameCube. I had the GameCube version. I think there was a PlayStation version as well, but the GameCube version was just magnificently put together. And you can tell the orchestra in the game agrees with me. It was so good. Why the fuck haven't we got an HD re-release? Seriously. I'm absolutely bitter as all hell. What else? What else would I put on that list? Yeah, this could be nostalgia talking, but as a multiplayer party game, Worms 3D. That was good stuff. It ran like crap, and it could have honestly done with... Well, at this day and age, it would probably... Oop, I blew up. Could probably do with being patched to all hell. but it was such a good game. Is that? Let's see. Let's see where we got. Metal Gear Solid 3. Worms. Professor Layton 3. Leaf Green. Prince of Persia. We're at 5. Space Engineers. That's 6. I should be writing these down. I need 4 more. 4 more. Fallout 4. I don't even know why that didn't turn up higher up on my list. Fallout 4 is amazing. I don't know, that's probably going to annoy a lot of people. Not people that particularly watch this video, just Fallout 4 seems to annoy a lot of people. I get it. I mean, it's not the same as every other Fallout game, and I completely respect that. But also, quiet. This is my list. This is my imaginary bunker list. I'm making it. Ooh, Stormrouser. Ooh, lasers. I like Fallout 4 for being innovative, for being the first game in a very, very long time that said, we're going to have a crafting system and you're actually going to like it. Because a lot of games put crafting in them because they could, because of a means of artificially stretching out the gameplay mechanic, and it really feels unnecessary. Let's be all honest here. Who ever used the crafting and repair stuff in New Vegas? I think the only time I've ever used crafting, repair and stuff like that was fixing up old guns. But even then it was so vague and confusing that I was never really a fan of it. I think it was reloading and stuff like that you could do. I could be completely mistaken, but to me, the crafting in Fallout 4 feels the natural evolution of that. It also feels like the natural evolution and a good use of all the stuff we could ever pick up in a Fallout game, because there was so much crap. Ooh. Like, there's so... Ooh, spook. That was Spock. Jesus. Oh, it's got a butt gun. Butt gun for butt fun. I instantly regret saying that. It sounded bad even in my head. So, yeah. Fallout 4. All the crap you could pick up, it made sense that you could pick it up. Should point out that, yeah, Luftrausers on this list, so we only need to think of a couple more. If I've not done 10, well, screw you. There's not much in it in Luftrausers as a game, so I'll sneak one more in. But I liked it. Did I feel that the branching paths didn't offer too much as a story? I mean, I think that is up to some debate, because of course the games have essentially, no matter what story arc you take, they all have essentially the same ending. So do all other Fallout games. They don't have some sort of revolutionarily different ending because you follow a different path. I mean, I've played most of the endings with the exception of the Institute ending. And I guess I feel a lot of people feel cheated because we don't have the same kind of humour, I should say, or storytelling. Yeah, I will agree. And I will also say that I feel very cheated that we had so little... what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? DLC. DLC was pretty thin on the ground for Fallout 4, whereas we got so much with New Vegas. There was absolutely loads. But I suppose Fallout 4's life has been nicely expanded through the community hubs, the ability to more easily mod it, although that's up for debate if you want to do modding. Oh, I'm gonna die! Explosion. Yeah, getting nowhere slowly. Sinker. Ooh, that's a big bomb. Ooh, we're a boaty boy. Let's take some boats out. You want to take some boats out? Yeah, let's take some boats out. Splish. I love that little splash. What's that thing called? Splash water. There you go. Ooh, that's a big one. So I think it's like almost like a one-hit kill cannon. Can we just sit above the water's edge? Just... Ooh, yes. That's a splish. So what would the next game be? I think we've got like 2 left, 1 or 2 left on the list. genuinely stuck. I'm kind of realizing I've not got that many from my favourite era of gaming, which is the PlayStation. So that's ultimately very difficult for me to put down. I think if I had to push for two more games, I want to say Crash Bandicoot 3. Crash Bandicoot 3 is just the pinnacle of what Crash Bandicoot would become, you know. Ultimately, quiet yours, doing my thing. It's the best example of a Crash Bandicoot game. Ooh, piranha. What's this? Ooh, missiles. Nice. Everything is just nicely polished, tighter, and it didn't have an incredibly disappointing boss fight. Only a mildly disappointing final boss fight. Crash Bandicoot 2, ultimately, is a fun game, but with all the extra mechanics that Crash Bandicoot 3 offers, it's just nicer. Which now makes me think, my last game. If I one last game. I could say Resident Evil 4. Or Spyro 3. Year of the Dragonfly. Which is freaking awesome. I was watching a gaming history video on that not too long ago. Gaming history, good channel, look them up. Yeah, like they're going to benefit from the traffic from my videos. I can't wait to get my paws on the Reignited trilogy actually for Spyro. That's going to be a fun series. Okay, so this is tricky because there's a lot I could say. Resident Evil 4, Spyro 3, there's just too many good options. That's tricky. That's very, very tricky. And now I'm freakishly looking over my desk to see if there's any clues of any other games that would suggest. I would like to say Animal Crossing, but I've never actually owned a copy. I've always borrowed it from a friend. Ooh, Moonrouser. I think I shared my copy with my sister. What about Super Smash Bros? Oh no, shit. You know what? I honestly don't think I could ever just say 10 games, even. Because there are too many games that when I sit down and think about it, they're all just too much fun. Like, I often will go into, you know, when I sit down and say, I want a game, we often say, well, I don't know what to play. It's often because we don't know what fits our precise mood at that time. So really whittling a list down to some vague list of 10 are good for these reasons list feels really arbitrary, and I often need more time. I genuinely need more time to think about it before I'd come to any solid conclusion if I could have a room of just 10 games, because it's just insane. But I think if I had to put a number 10, I think we're at number 10, so sue me, I'm recording this at like midnight. Because who needs a life anyway? Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Yeah. Like, hell, if you had to give me, like, a game that I can only play for, like, I don't know, maybe the rest of my life, but a very, very long time, Wind Waker. It's just gotta be Wind Waker. I was talking about this with a friend not too long ago, and they agreed with me that Wind Waker made long, monotonous travel not only fun, but energetic. Like, we walked through the wastes of Fallout, and I'm using Fallout as an example here because, of course, there's no real... Well, there is a fast travel system in both games, but Fallout, you fast travel because after a while you know the landscape well enough that you know to avoid certain areas. You know you can't be bothered going all that way, and it's just too far and too boring. Because sometimes you'll have to go through a radioactive hellhole, or you'll have to go through an area with mirelurks. You don't want to do it because it's just slow. Although, admittedly, the Boston area is absolutely fantastic to go through, sometimes you just want to cut to the chase. Wind Waker does something completely different and has managed to make sailing vast oceans of emptiness so beautiful and fun. Honest to God, I love it. And everyone that I've ever spoken to about with Wind Waker agrees with me. I believe it was Koji Kondo, and shoot me if I'm wrong, who did the soundtrack for Wind Waker. He did an amazing job. Every note of that game is perfect. Every scene. Going over the ocean at different times of the day at night versus at day, sailing by starlight, or if you get caught in a storm and the water just riles up around you, you can get kicked from over waves, doing little leaps in your boat. It's absolutely fantastic, and I will forever talk passionate about that game. I will wax lyrical forever. I was so glad there was an HD remake that dropped onto the market, and I'm fairly certain you can pick it up for the Switch on the Virtual Store, which, if you can, I am so excited by. It feels a little bit naff that they've introduced the selfie feature, a feature which seems oddly out of place in most games, to be honest, but well, the photography mode. But it doesn't impact in the overall structure of the game, and I'm more than happy to get it. Eventually, when I have a decent paying job, I will definitely pick up a Switch, purely for games like that. If it's on the Virtual Store, definitely. If not, I'd happily pick up a Wii U for it. I'm not going to that much trouble. There are a couple of good games for the Wii U. It's a bit of a black sheep, like the in the Nintendo family. It's not as bad as the Virtual Boy, but give them credit. Nintendo try their best. God love them. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that could go on there. Fuck, Portal. Yeah, Portal 2. I can't. Portal 2 just has one of the most gut-wrenchingly beautiful stories, structured around a silly little puzzle game with a psychotic computer. How do you ever actually say, you know, yeah, this is that game's brilliant. I had like 3 voice actors and the best ending in gaming, and honestly made me a bit teary. Like, it's weird. Half-Life had very little emotional resonance with me, which is weird because it's kind of a very big game in scope, in scale, and it's quite cerebral in places. Or I suppose I could say odd. And it didn't evoke that much emotion from me, other than fucking hell, because either the G-Man would step in and make things awkward, or I'm still waiting over a decade for a third part. It's never going to come, but fuck it. Whereas Portal 2's ending, the story was told in game not by not by yourself, but by discovery, by moving through elements of the old lab and building up a picture through stolen memories and recordings and little bits and bobs until you get the full picture. And you know what? We still don't have the fullest picture, but it's such a great game to go through. Ooh. Achievement unlocked. I'm an expert rouser. Huh. We should take a look at these other colour modes, shouldn't we? How do I get the other colour mode? No idea. We'll do that another time. I think this list just got expanded to top 20. There's no way I can take 10. I can't say no to Wind Waker. I can't say no to Portal. I can't say no to Metal Gear Solid 3. Maybe what I'll do is one day I'll break down this into a proper list and do top 10 handhelds, top 10 PlayStation, top 10... I might do that. GameCube, PlayStation, and miscellaneous, because I never owned an Xbox, because I was some sort of scrub, apparently. Well, I did. I do have an Xbox. There's an Xbox somewhere in this house, but it wasn't mine. I think there are about 3 games on it. The first 2 Halos, and... You know, I don't even own the first Halo for the Xbox. I own the first Halo for PC. It's not that good. Halo 2 was better. Talking about games, I'm not talking about well, I've talked a lot about the game I'm playing now. Oofed, big armor. That's the kind of skill level that's required for this game. I can talk wax on, you know, lyrical about some of my favourite games, and I can still manage to play this significantly well. That is just, I'm a god at this game. Shit, Tekken 3. Yeah, see, I'm never going to actually think of a complete list, because there's always going to be another game that's going to pop into my head. Tekken 3 was amazing, which could be beaten by Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2 was awesome. It's getting a sequel, which I'm a little bit iffy about, because the resurrection of old IPs sometimes feels either brilliant and you're going to perfectly honour them, or it's going to be an unnecessary cash grab. A good example is Sonic Mania. Crap, I didn't say Sonic 3. Look, this could go on forever. I'm just basically going to start naming random games from my childhood which hold high nostalgic prestige, which I refuse to take off the rose-tinted glasses for. But I need them, their prescription. I suppose then it's a good time to say we'll call it quits. One day I will make myself a perfect list of favourite games I will take to a bunker with me to live out the rest of my existence, or something like that, when I retreat and become a mole person, like in the Fantastic Four. What was the point of this video again? I don't know. Anyway, you guys stay safe, stay beautiful, stay awesome, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now. Wait, shit, I forgot one more. Tyrian. Add Tyrian to that list.